Today is day 11 of the Greater Than One Challenge. Today's topic is misconceptions. Now, there's a few misconceptions that I want to go ahead and get out of the way real quick. Type 1 and type 2 are two different diseases. Type 2 deals with insulin resistance, which means your body still makes insulin, but it doesn't act the same towards it. So it's built up an immunity, so to speak, to using the insulin. So the right amount of insulin is still made. However, the body doesn't react and engage with it any longer. Now, type 1, which is what I have, is an autoimmune disorder, which basically means that I got sick for some weird reason. I got the cold, I got a flu, I got something. And then my white blood cells go, oh, this looks like fun. Let's kill your beta cells. And the beta cells are the little volcano cells that spit insulin out. So basically my body just attacked them and killed them off. And I make no insulin any longer. This is why it's an autoimmune disorder, because my body attacked itself. Now, that's one of the biggest misconceptions around type 1 diabetes, is because diabetes is diabetes is diabetes. And that is not right. They are two different diseases. Now, another misconception about type 1 is that it is a juvenile disease. It's juvenile diabetes. So kids get it, and that's what happens. Your kids get it. Anybody can get type 1 diabetes. You can even get pancreatitis or pancreas cancer and have to have it removed, and then you become a type 1 diabetic from that. So you can get type 1 diabetes. You guys know I got it when I was 31. Like, you can get diabetes no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, no matter what your lifestyle is, because it doesn't matter. That leads me to misconception number 3. We didn't do this to ourselves. We didn't eat too much sugar or crud or sit around and not exercise or anything like that. That wasn't why we got it. Like I said, our bodies attacked itself. That's it. Point blank, period. Has nothing to do with our diet, our exercise, our lifestyle in general, or any choice that we could have made. Has nothing to do with us. It's just luck of the draw, and we got stuck with it. Another misconception is that kids with diabetes are like fragile and frail. Yes, we get sick easy. Yes, it's a lot harder for us to recover from being sick. But a kid with diabetes is a kid with diabetes. Not diabetes that happens to be a kid. It's the other way around. They still gotta be kids. If a kid with diabetes is being a jerk, it's a kid with diabetes being a jerk. Not, oh, well, you gotta let Timmy get away with it because he's got diabetes. Little Timmy's a jerk. Little Timmy needs to go in timeout regardless of whether Timmy got diabetes or not. So, a kid with diabetes is a kid with diabetes. It's like a kid with a cavity. Like, it's not, oh, cavity, and then a kid. You still got to deal with the child and then the diabetes. Another misconception is that diabetes is something that's like taboo. You shouldn't do it out in public. I can tell you a lot of the looks that I have gotten from giving my shots at the table, or the looks that people give me when I'm standing in line and I'm checking my blood sugar ahead of time at Subway or whatever before I get there, so I can go ahead and dose real quick, so maybe when my sandwich is done, I can eat with the rest of the people I'm eating with, instead of having to wait. So yes, we do some things that other people might consider gross or sick or something like that, but we're not going to be forced into the restroom to make everybody else comfortable. I mean, this is our disease. This is something we have to live with every day. And if it's something that you wouldn't do in the bathroom, it's probably something we don't want to do in the bathroom. And that includes giving shots, because that's kind of unhealthy to have the germs floating around in the bathroom and then to inject yourself. Like, it just stands to reason that you could get sick from that. And so don't give people those, what is she doing, kind of looks. She's just trying to live. Leave her alone. Okay? Don't be rude to people asking what they're doing or anything like that. Like, you wouldn't walk up and talk to somebody and be like, oh, you have a wheelchair. Why do you have a wheelchair? How did you get a wheelchair? Would you stare at somebody with a wheelchair? No, you've been taught that that's rude. It's just as rude to stare at somebody giving a shot or checking their blood sugar. Like, sure, great. If you have a question, come ask. Most of us are very open to our devices being talked about, like our pumps and CGMs, or answering questions about our shots or why we have to take them. A lot of us are more than willing to help people understand our disease. That's part of what this month is about, is having people understand our disease. So we don't have problems if you come up and ask us a question. But you wouldn't like it very much if you saw two people standing off to the side talking about you and you knew they were talking about you but didn't know why. It's kind of rude. So if you have a question, ask a question. But don't sit and be like, hey, Susie, hey, do you see that girl over there? Nobody likes to be talked about like that. It's rude whether you have a disability or not. That comes to another misconception. People are like, oh, it's just diabetes. You're fine. It's just diabetes. Yes, it is just diabetes. And yes, I am fine. But being a pancreas is a whole lot harder than people make it out to be. I mean, you guys have seen, everything that I do affects my diabetes. Everything that I want to do affects my diabetes. Diabetes affects how sick I get and how long I stay sick. Erin can catch something and she's like, oh, my head is hurting and I have a stuffy nose for like 2 days, and she might like, and that's it. That's the end of her sickness. 2 to 3 days max. I get the exact same thing and I'm out for over a week, like in bed, like, it hurts so bad. And it's like I'm being a wimp about it, but I'm really not. My sugars go up so high, it makes my body hurt. I can't drink enough water. I can't pee enough. I can't sleep, but I can't not sleep. Like, it's a mess just because you have to deal with being a pancreas too. So yes, we can do whatever we want. We can take care of it and we can fight and power surge through it. But sometimes you just can't. If our sugars are too crazy, we're not going to make it to the event. You know why? Because we're not allowed to drive legally when our sugars are too high or too low. We're just not allowed to do it. We can get in a lot of trouble if we drive too high and cause an accident or something. So we're not allowed to. So sometimes when we tell you that we feel like crap and we just can't make it to little Susie's birthday party today, just trust that that is a huge thing for them to have to be like, no, I can't come because of my diabetes. Like, it really sucks when sometimes diabetes does hold you back from things that you want to do. But it's something that we have to live with every day. And although it's upsetting for you to have to live with it for we wanted to go out to eat for dinner tonight and Jim can't come because Jim's blood sugar's too high and he's being a weenie. Jim's not being a weenie. Jim actually feels like that. It really does feel like you got hit by a truck. It really does suck. And sometimes we just cannot do it. And you're going to have to be gracious with that and understanding with that sometimes our disease just makes certain things impossible. And yeah, we could probably get up and do it again tomorrow. Or yeah, we probably could have done it yesterday. But just today, it's just not working out. Sometimes that happens. And you just have to suck it up and move on. So if somebody you know that has type 1 is having a hard day, and they say, hey, I just can't make it today, be understanding. That person will truly, truly appreciate you for being understanding. I think that's about it for the big misconceptions that I have run into personally in the little over a year that I've had diabetes. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment them below. I love to answer questions about diabetes. I would love to be an advocate and make sure that everybody has the awareness that they need for it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The buttons are right down there, yeah. And then also we have our t-shirt giveaway. We have the Taylor Fund going. There's all sorts of cool stuff going on around the channel. Go ahead and poke around and see what you can find. And we will see you guys tomorrow for day 12. Bye.